What's up, guys? It's Moss and Christian. You know we're here to talk about WrestleMania.
We are back. It's been a couple of days, well, maybe weeks now, but we're back with more to talk about WrestleMania 40. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Man, what a crazy WrestleMania. We both went there, and it was just out of this world. We have never experienced a live event like this, right?
No, I can't say I have. WrestleMania was an experience of a lifetime. The podcast, we made sure we were there. Made sure we covered the footage. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right, man. Woof. I It was a whole thing for me to get to Philadelphia. I mean, I left on a Friday early morning because I was trying to get the whole experience. So I left like 6 a.m. It was my flight, so I had to be up early as hell. So I get to Philly, and for me that weekend it was like this in short. I land in Philly, hotel, WWE World, hotel. No. From there, I went to SmackDown, Hall of Fame, go to sleep, wake up. I miss NXT because I was too tired. Then go to WrestleMania night one, back to the hotel, and the next day back to WrestleMania night two, and then Raw the very next day. It was just going and going and going nonstop. How was it for you, man?
You know, I didn't know, truth be told, to everyone in this podcast listening, I did not know until last minute I was going to be able to go to WrestleMania. So it was a journey for me. The podcast and to you guys, I want to make sure I was there, but it was a journey. Luckily, I had a really close person that was able to help me get tickets at a lot cheaper, and I was stoked to make it there. But it was tiring, definitely. Having both days of WrestleMania, a lot of day drinking for me, and cheers into beers, doing the Stone Cold shebang with my pops. That was so sick. I'll share you guys this. I was able to take my father to WrestleMania, and that was always a dream of his to go. And just as Cody finished his story, part of finishing my story was taking my father to WrestleMania. So it was an awesome experience. If I had a button to insert a round of applause, I would do it, but instead I'll just clap for myself.
I help you too.
Christian, thanks, buddy. Um, but yeah, it was an experience. I'm from Philadelphia, guys, too. So, Philadelphia is a very strong city for me. I live in Florida now, but Philadelphia is home. So to be able to go in that city, experience that was awesome. Even on the plane, I don't know if you experienced this yourself, but in the airport, everyone had WWE stuff on, flying out of the airport. I couldn't walk through 5 minutes without hearing some guys saying "yeah" in the airport, and I was shook. I was like, WWE has taken over Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And speaking of uh, I had a section that was just insane. It was just insane. When LA Knight came out, that section was on LA Knight from the beginning, from the minute that his music hit to the minute that he was gone. It was just, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was nonstop. Every punch he threw, yeah. I know that the whole stadium was on it, but that section, they were hot. They were real hot on LA Knight. And I was loving every minute of it because I wanted to experience in a stadium how it felt to hear, yeah, every punch. And that was just LA Knight that we're talking about here. There's others that we will get to in a minute. But remember how I said in our previous podcast that I wasn't looking forward to LA Knight versus AJ Styles, just a match? that it had to be more than that, I'm going to take that back. I have to take that back because the fans were there. They were hot on it. Like it was this match that meant something. And it was just a match of two guys that just, they needed to be on the car. And for the most part, the match was actually pretty good for not having anything in it. Like it was just a regular match. It was actually enjoyable. But maybe it's because the crowd made it better. I could be biased here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that we all thought that the LA Knight and AJ Styles match deserved to have more of a stipulation, a first blood. I honestly, you know how the tag team had the Philly Street Brawl. I would love to see them have a Philly Street Brawl. Let them go up in the stands and punch each other in the face and hit each other with the chairs up in the cheap seats. Like that's what we really deserve to get from that. But I think that, in the time frame that they had with everything going into WrestleMania, maybe they kept it a normal match because they might not have had time to add all these other stuff. Not saying that you can't have a perfectly good street brawl in 10 to 12 minutes. I don't know how long the match lasted for. I want to say it was longer than that, but it just felt so quick. I don't know if it was just me.
I think it went longer than the tag team street fight, but didn't go that much, in my opinion. It felt like the right amount of time. I did feel like the finish was very sudden. When LA Knight hit his finisher, I was like, oh, that's it. I was like, okay, well, all right, we'll take it, whatever. But because the match didn't bore me. That's how I felt. It kept me entertained.
Yeah, no, I think LA Knight is walking money. That guy knows how to entertain a crowd. I think he also does an awesome job just, with his as he likes to say, the Caborca. Yeah, LA Knight graced us with greatness, I think, when he walks in the ring and does whatever. But I think as far as the match, yes, we definitely deserve more of like a street brawl or something because LA Knight came to this man's house. LA Knight came to this man's house. He kicked down his door. He punched him in the face in his house. What I mean? I just don't I feel like they definitely could have had more of a stipulation to make that match a little bit more exciting. But I just think that, his aura is awesome. So it's always going to be entertaining. And being there live, hearing the fans yell with the LA Knight match, that was awesome. But yeah, I do hope they might continue to feud a little bit. Give me a backlash. Give me a backlash first blood match. AJ Styles, LA Knight.
Yeah, this is probably not the only time they're gonna face each other. Probably it's gonna happen again. And speaking of LA Knight, though, that yeah chant is just everywhere because aside from that section that was very hot on it, I was at the Hall of Fame ceremony, and when Thunderbolt was having his speech, that he kept like he was dragging, but the man was saying some real stuff, and we can get into that in another video. But at one point, it was so quiet in there, and he kept going on and on that yeah chants started to pop up.
They were showing blood blurring his. Are you serious?
I don't know if you heard on TV, but I haven't watched it on TV. But I know there was
The full Hall of Fame bash yet. I haven't had a chance to yet, but I only saw Paul Heyman's part, but they were chanting "yeah" during Thunderbolt.
not everybody. It was very quiet there. So since he was going on and on, somebody from one section was like, "Yeah," every time the guy was saying something, and then another person from another area was like, "Yeah."
Oh man.
I was like, "Oh my god!" And you could see LA Knight smiling somewhere because I was using my phone to zoom in to see like what these people were reacting to,
Right.
and you could see LA Knight like smiling about it.
But
It was like
that is being worthy. That's crazy. But
yeah, it was just like a couple of cats, and I just thought it was funny. Like I wasn't like what Thunderbolt said, like
yeah,
that was pretty good. Nothing against it. That was cool. I give him props for being up there and barely walking.
For from what I heard, someone said that he was, he was going very in depth about something. But
Yeah,
Hall of Fame, yeah.
yeah, and we'll talk about that eventually in another one because we can talk about WrestleMania for more than an hour or so. But
Yeah,
let's try to.
let's move on to the opening match. Let's talk about Rhea Bloody Ripley versus Becky the Man Lynch.
I
Wow.
think that match that did what it needed to do, like right?
Yeah, no. Well, I think to start this off, if we're just talking about the match overall presence, and I do want to shout out Motionless and White for this. Rhea Ripley, from what I was reading, she saw Motionless and White, the band, as a teenager, and she met the singer of the band at probably like a meet and greet sort of thing. I'm assuming after a show. And all these years later, she's performing with that band who sings her theme song live in person at WrestleMania. That is a story of the century.
Full circle, huh?
Full circle, man. Full circle. I know she, and I also read she also had a panic attack before she was going out there.
She
And
did.
yeah, and that was talked about, and and the fact that she was vulnerable enough to talk about that is so bold. And I think anyone would feel the pressure of going out and the favorite band you grew up listening to is performing out there with you on the biggest match or the biggest stadium. So no, I can understand the pressure for sure, but the fact that she was so open to share about it is so commendable. So shout out Rhea Ripley, but I hope, I hope that whole experience, someone else can look at like, wow, that's possible to go out there to, make your dreams happen. It's like a Disney movie.
Yeah, and they happened. And last WrestleMania, she won the title. On this one, she beat a top person in Becky. So her reign is still going, and mommy keeps going.
Yeah. And Becky Lynch, also shout out her, she had strep throat apparently.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
that's true.
the fact that they were able to go out there and put a banger and with that was crazy. I think my favorite Mania match, probably like women's Mania match, was when Charlotte Flair got in the fight with her. But I think that this match was really good. I wish it could have went a little bit longer, and I wish that that Becky wasn't sick and they didn't. I mean, I don't think that affected like their performance. I think they did great, but I mean, I could only think that deserved the way that Rhea and Charlotte put on one. I think that Rhea and Becky were also capable of living up to that, and I really think they did. But I just think that they could have had a longer match and later in the card. But it was a great kickoff for sure.
Let me ask you this question because I cannot ask you the regular question, which will be which night did you enjoy the most, night one or night two? Because I think that is an obvious answer there, at least for you and I. So the question is, what did you enjoy the most out of night one?
Night one. Well, I guess I'm biased. Well, not biased, but I guess I sound like a regular fan if I say the main event. Um,
There's no shame in that because, hey, to tell you the truth, I only went to WrestleMania 1 for the main event. So,
you mean WrestleMania 1? You were alive on WrestleMania 1?
oh, I mean, WrestleMania 40, night 1.
Christian, I knew you were a little bit old, man, but I didn't think you were old. WrestleMania 1.
Boy, if I would have won to 1, Jesus, how old would I be now? Nah, too old.
Yeah, I think really old. Well, actually, no. So I can tell you. So you know what? That just reminded me. Stephanie McMahon said in the crowd. Remember, she said that she said in when she came out in night 2, she was in the crowd when I think she was 7 for WrestleMania 1. Is that what she said, or 8?
Yeah, I think she was out there. Some I don't remember which one, but yeah, she was out there.
Yeah, she said she was 7 or 8 or something. Or I think it was that young. I don't know exactly what number, but she was a kid at WrestleMania 1.
I believe it. I mean, she was a grown up when I was a kid, so
Mm-hmm.
it fits the bill.
But yeah, the night one, I guess I would just say the main event, just because like everything that led into the great night of night 2. But also I would say probably I think was Jay versus Jimmy on night 1 or night 2.
You know what? That match was so
I think that
off.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. I think Jay versus Jimmy needed a stipulation and make that a little bit more of a grudge match. I felt it was a similar. It wasn't that it was a bad match, and people are saying like it was a bad match. It was just the fact that they didn't have that much time, I feel like. And I think they also should have had a better stipulation. Like I said, WrestleMania is supposed to be a main. I need Jimmy to throw him and body slam him through a table. I need Jay to come in with the barbed wire. Like, I don't need blood, but I need like action for a Mania. So I feel like they could have told a story better with like they did the Bloodline Rules match for Cody and them. They should have had like a Bloodline Rules match. Like, they could have went further, I think.
I think you and I have to pick that match and break it down because I feel like I was expecting more out of it.
Yeah.
And when he finished, I was like, "That's it." That was my feeling when he ended. I was like, "Oh, it's over." Oh, okay. That's how I felt at that point. So I was like, "Okay, then next." But for me, night one was very forgettable. Aside from the main event, like everything else was like, okay. But then 9-2, if you ask me what I enjoyed the most, the first match, LA Knight, and for sure the main event. Those were my three top choices. Not saying that that everything else was not entertaining, because I feel like 9-2 was entertainment from beginning to end. I wasn't like, oh, is this match over? I never felt like that. But night one, there were times that I was like, oh, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think that they just I think that WrestleMania and first off, WrestleMania in person, everything was electric. I don't think I ever felt a moment where I was like waiting for anything to end. It was electric from start to finish because the crowd was insane. Just like how you
Oh,
mentioned the All Night fans, I think the crowd is what really made that event great. And
9-2.
both nights, I think.
Because I remember night one, they were kind of quiet because it was cold as hell.
Well, we were very cold. We also were very cold on night 1.
Yeah,
But
it was
at
cold,
least
man.
while I was sitting, they were yelling about everything. So it definitely was an experience just because Philly's not crazy, but night 2 definitely had a different energy because everyone was excited to see if Cody was going to win or Roman was going to win. And that built it up the whole time in the most insane way. So.
Yeah, it was insane. Eh, like I said, like I wasn't looking forward to LA Night match, and then the crowd just made it that much better, and even the match itself delivered. So actually, I was expecting the Usos to give me something that I would be off my feet or something, but it just didn't deliver. I'm not trying to say that I was there like, oh, is it over? More like that was it. We're done here. But o- overall, the whole thing, the whole experience, I went to just get the whole thing and experience it and see how it is. Like I've been to one of WrestleMania before, but I had never taken a flight, go somewhere, and go see both nights. So that was new to me, and I loved everything. It was great.
Yeah, I think I the first off, the main event is going to be the next topic because wow. But
Yeah, yeah. Let's just skip to it because,
yeah.
dude, like
Cody, 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 Cody.
incredible.
We won. We won. Screw you, Rock. Screw you, Roman. We won.
I was I was
What a story, man. Those guys, Roman Reigns, The Rock, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, they told the most incredible story, and I can't get over that finish, man. It was from a movie. They did it right. It was like Rocky meets Avengers in Philadelphia.
yeah, absolutely. Like I was watching this match. I was just there. Like I think the last 20 minutes, all of us were up, or that we were not sitting. It was just something will happen, something else. Like this story, it brought men and kids together, if not more. Like I have seen men get emotional because of this. I have seen kids get emotional. I have seen countless of videos of kids with their mothers just they were crying. They were crying. I even Logan Paul was crying in a video. This is how much this story was reaching. Like wrestling was has not been this hot that somebody will want to tune in. And just to put the financial aspect of it, WrestleMania 39 was they made about $20 million. In this one, they made about $40. For WrestleMania 29, they actually made 21 million. In WrestleMania 40, they were 40 million or over. So they basically went 50% more than last year in sales. Can you believe that?
Wow, if you got those numbers right, I'm shocked because that's an insane amount of money. But alas, the money. I will say, mothers, kids, united, just unbelievable. Everyone in my section just was in awe, shock. Like it was just an unbelievable feeling to see that, and it really did unite people. Fun fact, full discretion, let the podcast know now. Oh, I definitely cried when Cody won. I was standing there. I did the whoa. I was so excited. It was just an unbelievable thing to see. And yeah, I'm getting fist bumps to the kids behind me. Like it was just something that you had to be there in person to experience. Nothing there like it. Cody finished the story. We all saw this build up. It was great.
When Cody was pinning Roman for the 1, 2, 3, when that happened, that whole I would say 20 seconds, it was a blur because when that happened, when I saw the 3 count, I was like, oh my God, it happened. Like I went in there very confident that Cody was gonna get it, he was gonna win it. But when that it actually happened, I was like, oh my God, it did happen. Roman did not kick out after all of this, after all this time.
Did you see him where he was smiling after he got?
They say that he was smiling. I think that was just him like with his teeth out. Maybe it was. I hope somebody asked him. To me, it
I
doesn't.
think he's happy. Well, hey, man, that was a huge burden to have the belt as long as he did. Someone was saying he's ready to take some time because, dude, imagine preparing for 2 main events when you haven't, because he hasn't been on the road that much recently,
Yeah.
and with his schedule. So it's like imagine having to pull a double and you haven't worked in a minute. So I think like he probably was super super tired, and he might have been genuinely happy for Cody. I don't know.
He probably was. I mean, he could have put his weight around and be like, no, but he probably made the right business decision and agree that this was the time.
Mm-hmm.
And what I wasn't even jumping when Cody won it. I was just internally happy. I was like, this is finally here. Like, it's over. And everything that led to it, like those last 10 minutes, the I'll tell you when I felt like the aura change in the stadium when you knew that something special was about to happen. I was waiting for Jimmy Uso to come in and start screwing around. And then I'm like, okay, anytime now, Jay has to come out. And when Jay music hit, that's when, for me, the atmosphere just changed. I don't know if it is Jay's music, which is fucking awesome when he hits, and Jay's coming out, and I'm like, here we go. Now we're gonna get God knows what. And next thing you know, Jay's out there, then Solo is out there, then Cena is out there, then The Rock is out there, then Seth is out there, and then The Undertaker is out there. We all expecting Austin, but we get The Undertaker. And even even a person like me that's expecting Austin, you get The Undertaker and the pop. Like you had to be there to actually hear the crowd. Like it was insane how the pop that this man got. And it makes me think, could it get any bigger if the glass would have shattered?
Oh my gosh. Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone. I mean, I objectively think that we all just thought Stone Cold would show up, but I can say that I'm satisfied with The Undertaker. I just hate that somehow there's this like I feel like this WrestleMania just shows like you can have everything in the world. There's always gonna be like us as fans, like, oh man, there's one more thing we could have had. But I think it's because we all objectively thought Austin would be the one to show up and John
Right.
Cena would be the one to show up. None of us thought about The Undertaker, which I think
Never.
real surprise. And at the end of the day, isn't that what WrestleMania is all about?
A surprise. We all expecting Austin and we got the Undertaker. And it's selfish to even say, man, Austin should have showed up.
I
I
know.
I was telling myself it would be selfish to even say that and disrespectful for the Undertaker. I even read a comment somewhere that said I thought I would never be disappointed to see the Undertaker.
Oh
And
my.
I was like, man, and in reality you're not disappointed. It's just the perception of it's like, damn
Yeah.
it, I was expecting Austin. We got the Undertaker. It's great. I'm being selfish because I wanted this. Because if you look at the numbers, Roman Reigns' days as champion, 1,316, 316. Seth Rollins, champion, 316 days. And then Triple H sends a tweet at 316 on Sunday. Even the numbers were leading towards Stone Cold. And not even with that, it happened. So I was even wearing my What shirt.
Oh, were you?
I did. I was wearing a sweater on top. And then when The Rock came out and I started chanting Austin, I opened my sweater because I'm like, okay, this is it. And the next thing you know, we hear the bells from the Undertaker. I'm like, oh no way! But it's a treat. It's awesome. I mean, it's great to see the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
I think. See, the thing is, like, I genuinely was so surprised, and I think if Austin would have came out, we would have just went electric. But I don't think I would have been surprised. I knew that Cena was going to probably show up. I knew that Austin was probably going to show up. I would have been ecstatic, but not surprised. So that's why I think this Undertaker thing is why they went that way. Maybe that he really did have a chance to bring in Austin and he couldn't make it for some reason, or it wasn't in the carbs. But I think, like I said, with all the grip stuff you said, the 316s, the 316, the 316 three times in all those ways, maybe we just sound convoluted, but I don't think you're wrong.
Hey, it's fine. I have told myself there's no way that I can complain about having the Undertaker. And the pop that he got, it was fine. I mean, that whole thing. Look at the pop that Cena got. Insane. These people were hating Cena like 10 years ago, and now they're chanting Cena.
You only appreciate what's great when it's gone, huh?
You never appreciate it when it's in front of you. And they can boo Roman all they want, whenever, for the first part of his career, and even now. When he's about to retire, we all gonna miss him. And when we will show up later, we're gonna cheer him. And don't be surprised if right now, whenever he returns, I don't know if he's coming Thursday or if he's gonna take time off.
Who?
But Roman, but he might be a face all of a sudden.
I mean, yeah, I think, well, after everything's unfolded with this main event, I think that Roman will come back to fight The Rock and get his vengeance with Cody one more time. But that I will not come. He's not. They said he was advertised for SummerSlam. The next SmackDown is what he's advertised for. But I don't think they should tell us that when he's advertised. I think he should just show up and shop.
He should. He should.
But they already advertised it, so he's probably going to come back right before SummerSlam.
We'll see about that. But man, I was so happy for Cody.
So happy.
And a lot of people as well, as you can see, all these people showing up to the ring, the whole thing with Seth. Dude, if anything, this whole thing, this whole story, adding Seth, he elevated Seth as well, in my eyes.
I think he did too. I think they elevated each other. I mean, I think that, Seth already was this workhorse guy that was arguably one of their top guys. But like this story, adding The Rock and Roman, it just elevated all of them to some next level star. Like all four of them now. Like,
yeah. You know how Seth be calling himself this visionary architect, all of that? Dude, you are a workhorse. That's what you should be calling yourself, because you work yourself to the bone that you could barely walk out of WrestleMania. Literally. This man was in pain.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they were all celebrating with Cody and they had to help him out back to the back.
This brought everybody together. Everything that I saw on the internet after this win. Did you notice how the referee gave Cody the belt? Even the referee was happy. Even the way that he counted 3, it was just, the aura was just different. It was something special that I can't even explain.
I think everyone was really in the moment. Everyone was really taken in the moment, and everyone realized like this is a change of the keys to the kingdom. Like it was just a different, and he generally had this like true Rocky story that like you don't always see in wrestling that gets you to like believe in something. So now we're all like, whether you're rooting for Roman or Cody, it's like they all knew that there was a chance that Cody was going to do it. And then he actually did do it.
He did it. I mean, it was 2016 when Cody asked for his release from WWE. And here we are in the middle of 2024. And he's a champion. Like the dude went full circle.
Yeah.
He went from just nobody wanting him to all these people that love him, that top face.
Undesirable to undeniable. That's right. Cody Rhodes.
To undisputed.
And the thing is like even like I think something that brought more emotion is even Samantha Irvine, the way she announced Cody Rhodes, her saying it at Cody Rhodes. Like, bro, like you could tell the emotion. Like Samantha Irvine, you are awesome, man. Like a woman, you are awesome.
It was so loud when it happened, and I heard when she was announcing it, and like I was just taking the moment in so many ways, because I'm trying to process that this man just got a 3 count, and I'm like, oh man, he really beat him. Then I hear Samantha, then I'm hearing the crowd, and I'm like, I'm trying to be happy at the same time. and I'm just there, and I'm like, I don't even remember if I jumped. It was such a blur, literally, and just I know that I heard Samantha, and I'm like, oh my god, this woman is emotional. She made that announcement epic. That's gonna be there forever.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you know what I mean? That you're supposed to care. And like, we think about it, it's going to be rare for us to have a story that is that real for a long time again. That gave us that much emotion. So, like, you know, I just think that that's beautiful. So, you know, shout out Samantha Irvine for that. Since we have one more thing that we did not discuss, we have to talk about David Priest.
Dude, man.
Drew McIntyre, what happened, man?
You
What
know,
happened?
I was smelling it a little bit when I saw that Drew was not leaving the area. I'm like, why is this man sticking around? And then he goes over to CM Punk, and I'm like, okay, well, where are we leading here? And then Damian Priest music hit. I lost it. I remember that one clearly. I was like, no way. The crowd went bananas. Dude, that was good. That was good.
I am so shocked. Drew McIntyre, talk about a story. His downfall was that he kept saying everything he said to Seth applied to him, and then he did the same thing with CM Punk because he was obsessed with telling CM Punk why he's wrong and all this, and then that is the reason why he loses. Dear Lord.
I mean, he got what he wanted, right? He wanted to win in front of a crowd. Whether your reign was gonna be long, well, that's to be determined. Oh, he tweeted in the middle of the match, "Bored at work." This guy is a menace.
Well, that didn't what's the word? What's the term? That didn't last long. What's the term? It's on my tongue. It didn't last long. Oh, this didn't age well. Is what I mean. This didn't age well with the tweet.
He definitely didn't. He tweeted again. He quoted himself, and he said, "Fuck."
He did.
Yeah. I'm happy for Damian Priest though. He got a nice pop. I was clapping. I just in the moment I was like, they're gonna do this to this man right now. I'm like ballsy and funny, but I guess it makes sense. He keeps messing around with CM Punk. Let's see how far Damian Priest goes with it.
I guess Drew McIntyre in his promo, he called him a transitional champion. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, truth be told, Damian Priest earned the hell out of everything with that. That guy's been wrestling for so long. He was actually in that guy was in Monster Factory, which is actually a Philly, Jersey area wrestling promotion. He wrestled there. Someone else I actually know, trained with him. But yeah, no, he's been wrestling for a long time, man. So the fact that he's a world champion now is awesome. But I do think Drew McIntyre wins it back at Clash of the Castle in Scotland. There's no way that Drew McIntyre will not be champion in Scotland. I guess it's reported that he hasn't signed his new contract yet, but I think they just didn't release anything about it. I don't know why they would release anything about it, but people keep talking about how he hasn't signed a new one. But there's no way Drew goes to AEW with after this whole story. But, you know, I guess it is now. We do live in a time where it's like, because there is this alternative, it's like, oh, if this guy's contract's done in WWE, is he going to AEW? Like, that seems to be like the active question that we keep asking now. I don't know.
No thanks.
I don't know why that keeps being the question, because I guess it's just because it's the biggest alternative now. But I just think that Drew McIntyre has made this whole story here with CM Punk. So why would he leave that story? Like, to me, it's not even about the other side. Oh, AEW is this, WWE is that. Like, no, it's more of just about you can't leave the story like that. it's also, I'll tell you the same difference with I'll give you the same thing, but the opposite version. Andrade left AEW. He was in a really good battle with Miro, and they had a big part of the story, and he came to WWE, which I understand why. Charlotte Flair is here. They're married. I totally get it. But there was so much more to be told in that story. And I think it's just the worst thing in the world in wrestling when the story can't finish being told because some other circumstances throwing that in the way. And that's kind of how I felt about the situation we were just talking about.
Yeah, no, you hit it right on it. So there's Drew has no business going to AEW.
Punk
He
time. SummerSlam.
so yeah, so he has a feud with Punk. And that's gonna feed families. That's gonna be entertainment. They haven't even really fought, and it's already entertaining. So imagine when he actually goes down. So that they're giving us a story, and then they're gonna give us a match, and that's what we always want.
Rollins
Give
will
us
be
a story.
a year. So
Yeah, let's see. I think Rollins is gonna take some time off now, and then he'll come back, and we'll get that. So there's a lot down the line, and there's so much to discuss. We can go into a lot of depth about WrestleMania, but I think we're gonna end it here for this one, and then we'll see if we go deeper in a different video.
yeah, and we are all wrapped up from WrestleMania weekend. Me and Christian both flew out to Philadelphia, where I'm from, and he go out there for the trip for it. So we had a long weekend, guys. So we're trying to catch up on some recovery time. So we're gonna hit you guys next time.
Well, see you next time.